This week on Josh Shackford's New Hampshire Outdoor Life, doing a little overview of my 2016 hunting season, which started on September 1st, which was the opening day of bear season. As you can see from the photographs, I've got lots and lots of bears around. They've actually become a nuisance. I've bear hunted my whole life and was never been able to take one. This year just came about that there was bears everywhere, and everywhere I turned, everywhere I looked, the area that I hunted, there was bears everywhere, and any camera I put out, or even around the house everywhere, there's nothing but bears. So figured I had to do my part and shoot one. So opening day, I've hunted them, like I said, I've hunted them all my life, but never been able to take one. And this year, I went out opening day. My wife actually took me out into the woods and dropped me off because my truck was in the garage. She drove me out into the woods. She got up early with me and went out and went for a walk and brought my, I was using a 30-06 Remington 30-06 7400. It was my grandfather who passed away several years ago. He gave it to me. It was a gun he always used for deer hunting, and I'd never shot anything with it, so that was kind of special, taking that out and using it. And anyways, bear came in, and they're so quiet in the woods, I didn't hear it, or I actually saw it. It's amazing. It's such a big animal, and big-footed animal can be so quiet in the woods. So it started out, I saw the bear, I shot the bear, and my buddy Cubby again came out and helped me drag it out, and we brought it back to the house. And I hung it up with my tractor and skun it up. Had to call Fish and Game. They had to come over and tag it. They have to take a tooth and check it out and whatever. So next year, it was a small bear. It only weighed about 100 pounds, but hey, it works for me. My first bear, I did take it to the taxidermist. I'm getting mounted where it was my first bear, and I got it mounted. Also, you'll see on some of these pictures towards the end that the bears actually were eating my trail cameras. They were biting them. They big tooth marks in them and biting the lenses, and bit the holes in the batteries, and they were still around. Even if I shot mine, there was still bears all over the place. And so next year we're going to give it a little bit better go and try to get after them. Anyways, enjoy the pictures of my bear, and after that we'll move into the deer season. So that was it for my 2016 bear hunt. That was September 1st. Didn't do much between September 1st and November 1st when the muzzleloader deer season started, or I think it started at the end of October actually. Oh wait, there's a couple things I did do. I got married October 1st to my lovely wife Linda. Then we went on our honeymoon to South Dakota, had a great time. Do some videos of that later. My youngest son Joshua, graduated from U.S. Army Infantry AIT training at Fort Benning, Georgia. We went down and watched that graduation ceremony, got to spend a little time with him. That was a good time. And then my son Zachary graduated from the United States Army Special Forces training at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We went down and watched his beret ceremony. That was a lot of fun. But nothing happened much with deer hunting or any type of hunting in the interim until I think it was my second day in the woods, and I went out muzzleloader hunting, and my
my secret spot, and ended up getting this nice 8-pointer that you're about to see. And then my buddy Ward came up the next day, and November 2nd, and ended up shooting an 8-pointer out of the same stand. That following afternoon, I shot my November 1st, the morning of November 1st. He shot his the afternoon of November 2nd. So here it is. Enjoy.
I killed this buck on November 1st with my muzzleloader right here in Madison. Didn't get a lot of pictures, but sure had a real good time doing it. It was chasing does, grunting, and everything you'd want. There was actually 5 deer, 3 does, this buck, and a spike buck that were there up on the side of the mountain. I think it was the second day I'd hunted this year, but real good time. The next day, after I shot this deer, it weighed 65 pounds, by the way. And this here is my buddy the next day that came up, Ward. He went up in the same stand the next afternoon. I shot mine the following morning, and he shot this. I was at the house, and he called me up, and he got one, and he had been calling the bleep can, grunt can, whatever, tube, and he got it, and I went up, and we gutted it out, and I helped him drag it out, and got it back to the house. But what a fun time being able to enjoy the same spot. And you can see it's just a beautiful location. It's a tree stand I've hunted many, many times. Here's Ward dragging it out. We took some turns, and my truck's just down over the hill dragging. It's quite a little bit of a drag. This deer weighed, I believe, 156 pounds. They could have been brothers, the 2 deer that we shot up there. He said that deer was all alone. Brought him back to the house and took some pictures, and really quite an experience. So he shot his on November 2nd.
Because you can't starve us out and you can't make us run. Those Woodland Mole boys raised on shotgun. We say grace, we say ma'am. If you ain't into that, we don't give a damn. We came from the West Virginia coal mines and the Rocky Mountains and the western skies. We can skin a buck, we can run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
So that was our 8-pointers, and the rut was still on and still going hot and heavy, and Cubby hadn't got his deer yet in New Hampshire, and muzzleloader season was still going. So we went up. I went out with my bow. He went out with his muzzleloader. Went up to a different stand where we've been seeing some good sign, and he ended up shooting this 230-pound 11-pointer. Beautiful deer. Had a bunch of junk on its bases. We tried to drag it out, but dragged it as far as we could. But enjoy these upcoming photos. And this was an enormous deer, 230 pounds. You got to think that these deer at 230 pounds weigh 300 pounds live weight. So we're talking 230 with no heart, no lungs, no liver. I've only ever shot one deer in my life that weighed that much right here in Madison. I don't know if you can go with the camera up here. This deer here, this 8-pointer, weighed 230. And there's the picture of it there. And got into the over 200-pound club in New Hampshire with that deer. So it's quite a feat, quite an accomplishment to shoot a deer that big. Be in the top 10, I'm sure, for the state of New Hampshire. But here's the video of it.
This thing was just an absolute tank. We dragged it for a while after we shot it, tried to drag it out, and we didn't get very far, but we dragged as far as we could. 11 points, had a lot of junk on its bases. I didn't get a lot of photos because we were trying to, in a hurry, we were taking pictures of each other. These are the only photos I got. Get it out, put it on the back, got it for a ways so I could get it on the back of my four-wheeler and get it home and get it hung up. And there's Cub with his deer. That's it, caped out. It's at the taxidermist, and that's a good big deer for New Hampshire.
And now the finale to a great season. I shot this 10-pointer with my bow and arrow. I don't even remember the date, but it was during the rifle season. I wanted to still hunt. I'd never seen this deer before on camera. Had no pictures of it, nothing. Got him on my bow. Cubby again helped me drag it out. Yeah, I've had it scored. It's gonna score Pope and Young. Definitely the biggest deer I've ever shot with my my bow and arrow by a long shot. So here's the pictures, and followed up by some trail camera photos that another guy got and gave them to me after I I harvested this deer. So enjoy.
Shot this deer on November 21st, 2016. I use a Matthews bow, expandable broadheads. Like I said, I've never seen this deer before. Just showed up. I was actually wanted to shoot a doe. I still had some doe tags. So you go out there, you keep at it. You never know what you're going to get. This is, like I said, by far beautiful, beautiful 10-pointer. He was poorer than a crow. Had no meat on him, whatever. I shot him at about 10 yards, spine shot him. Not too far away. The pictures, not too far from my house is what I meant. But the pictures that you're going to see, the trail camera pictures, are pictures of, they were taken by a friend of mine that I know, that I hunted with a little bit. Tyler Eldridge gave them to me. He had them on his trail cam. He'd been getting them in October time frame, and the camera was 2 miles away from where I shot it as the crow flies. So the horns almost look too big for the deer. The body, it only weighed 165 pounds. He was probably 180, 190 pound deer before. But I got it at the taxidermist, and gonna get this back. Like I said, I know it's gonna make the Pope and Young book, and it's gonna make the New Hampshire record book. So just a big, beautiful deer. Enjoy the photos.